Prompt engineering is everywhere on social media. There's a lot of weird shit in YouTube, or like let's say 3 to 4 hours of video where people precisely explain about what prompt engineering is and how to build, a huge text file of prompts and then put it to your AI model. And the more larger the prompt is, the more better the prompt is. And there's a lot of weird shit in YouTube going related to prompt engineering. See, the models nowadays understand what you want. What actually wins isn't the perfect prompt. It's the person who tries the most angles with AI. It's the person who tries different stuff or different angles with AI. That's why in this today's video, I'm going to break down the 4D framework, which is legit adopted by Anthropic's Claude team, and it's mentioned in the AI fluency skill, where using this framework, how I have learned to engineer prompts for my build. And at the end of this video, I'm going to show you something better than memorizing this. I built a Claude skill that automates this entire framework. You don't even need to think about it anymore. You just paste your rough idea in and it does the 4D process for you. So let's break down the 4Ds. Box, you need to understand your problem. You need to understand what parts needs to be done with the AI and what parts needs a human in the loop, or the humans a human touch in the build, like the verification or triggering some events. So you need to identify in your problem what are the sections of your problem that can go AI native, where AI can build everything, and what are the sections of your problem, your problem, where you need that human touch, a human verification, or something that needs human to work on. So the output that you're building is verified. AI will replace your job, because the overall goal of a person in this AI era is how to supervise this AI models. So the person who knows to supervise this AI models better will have an upper hand. That's why delegation is a complete section where you're going to identify your problem and break it down perfectly, dividing it to a Venn diagram. Is the most important aspect of our prompt, which is description. So, after hearing the term description, you generally understood most of the thing. We need to describe our problem properly and describe our solution properly. And that's what description is. This is the section where where you talk to AI, not like with commands, and you just communicate with AI, and you just, break down how you want AI to solve the problem and how you want AI to present the output. See, section where you're going to describe your input. Let's take an example to make this more easy to understand and make it more interactive. I have hired a video editor whose job is to edit videos for my social media page. So let's consider this video editor as an AI model. I'll say the AI model that, yeah, I'm going to put an input to you. My input will basically be a Google Drive link which has a raw recording of me speaking, and that will be my input. I'm going to describe it, how the input will come, and that's the section. That's what input section covers. It's where you describe the person how to access the things, or how the event will get triggered. And then comes the process section. See, there's a general framework that AI model needs to follow while building anything. And people always adopt framework for different stuff. There's a framework for vibe coding, there's a framework for building SaaS applications. So there are framework for different stuff and different things. So now, when we take this example for video editing, I'm going to give my video editor this framework. As soon as you get the video, you should go to this AI tool called watch.ai, enhance the audio, bring that audio, then you go to a simulator and convert the video to 4K, then take the video, enhance and just bring the yeah do the captions. After you do these stuff, do remotion, I mean use remotion to bring in motion graphics, and bring in cool transitions and animation. So I have break down the framework, right? You go enhance the audio, then you go create the captions, then you go do this stuff, you create, make the video much more better resolution, just update it to much more better resolution, which is obviously 4K. So I have a framework, break it down. That's what we need to say this AI models. Just how you tell someone to do like this. This is a roadmap. Follow this roadmap. In description process section, we break down the framework saying that do this, do this, do that, and do this. Even if you don't know the stuff, even if you don't know how to build an app, you'll have a basic idea. Okay, see, best thing, take the you have the idea. First, go do research on this idea, then go do research on which language is better. Then for coding, and even if you don't know coding, you can say go do research on this idea, go do research on the platform where we are going to deploy it, what and all guidelines it should follow, and then go do research on the coding aspects, and then they build this app. So you have broke down the framework. Now it has its way, its path narrowed, and when its path is narrowed, it is clearly the model has clearly understand this stuff. Okay, this is the way I need to travel through this way, and I'll work like this, and that's the guide of process. And then to make your output more desirable, you basically describe your output. Just like you go and say your mother that, mommy, I want the paneer tikka to have more paneer, do more butter, and make it more delicious. So just like that, I want you to precisely describe how you want the output. For the video editor's case, I'll say the video editor, hey, so I want this output to be look much more like the video editors who bring in motion graphics in between. They bring in the way the text starts levitating here. I want it to look like that. So I'm describing how my output should be. And when you describe your output, the AI model will be, okay, these are the specs that I need to meet. The next step of the 4D framework is diligence. Diligence way is where you give AI its responsibility and ethics, because AI does not know this on its own. So it's like if you left it alone, it will generate whatever and disclose whatever information you have, do all and publish everything which you have. So all your private data that you're sharing with AI, it's insecure, and it will be in wrong hands, because AI does not have responsibility and ethics. But in your prompt, right? So, in your prompt, give the boundaries for AI models. Just specify it, what and all aspects should be verified before publishing online, what and all aspects or details that needs to be secured and should not be exposed to other sandbox or server. Then what and all guardrails that needs to be set up during this, the workflow. Then AI will now understand this stuff. It will set up its own guardrails, and AI will operate inside these guardrails. And in our prompt, we need to specify what and all boundaries it should work on. So AI sets this guardrails up, and it will work in those guardrails or boundaries. The last step of 4D framework is discernment. Discernment is evaluating what AI gives you back, and this step is where most people skip, because everyone think that I'll put one magic perfect AI prompt and shakalaka boom boom, the AI product is here and I'm gonna make millions from this. That's not possible, my man. See, if you want to make something, you just need to keep trying that. It is a pattern adopted by different millionaires. They have just built something, it was shitty, they tried again, it was improving, and that's the goal. So in 4D framework, after the first 3Ds are used to engineer your first prompt and work on your first product, the last D, which is discernment, is where you're going to evaluate through your output, understand the aspects where you are not satisfied, highlight those sections to the model, and create a second prompt highlighting your evaluation and highlighting those specific gaps where you are not satisfied. So when you engineer in that next engineer prompt, you basically mention this evaluation, and the AI will do that work. It will fix those errors, and then your output will become it will reach to your more desirable outcome. And within 2-3 prompts, you will be done with your work. And that's how this framework is. Even if first 3Ds are used in first prompt, and then you need to put in second prompt, but rather than messing around with hundreds of prompt trying different methods, the 4D framework is adopted to ensure that you prompt less. Created a Claude skill where you just basically put in your voice input, speech to text, you put in your complete description, and this Claude skill will basically create the 4D framework prompt, and that's it. Basically, you can now use AI. These AI models have enough knowledge, and they are trained enough to generate these four beautiful prompts. You call this in Claude, then you start typing, or you use a voice to text thing to describe your idea, or just you put your normal prompt and it's going to optimize that prompt, and then the AI will start working on it. So I'll put the prompt saying that see, I have a general idea of creating motion graphical videos using Remotion. So let me put a small prompt about that, and let's see how 4D framework will work. Now you see, I wrote this very silly prompt saying that I want this re-emotion skill in Claude, where I just codecs obvious. So I just get the raw file to this skill, and it's going to edit the video. But you see, I haven't described it properly. But let's see what 4D prompt engine does. I send the prompt. It's going to read through the skill, identify the 4D framework. See, when the prompt send, it identifies some gaps, which is those flags that comes before you work, saying that this will be a major issue for you. But see, my small prompt was converted into this heavy optimized prompt with all of the framework adapted. And I just described it like a silly guy who doesn't even know what he's doing. I just described the stuff, and it built me the whole prompt. And now, me who doesn't even know at this scenario, who doesn't even know what I put in my last voice to text thing, I just put something, and it converted it to this prompt, and this looks so professional. And now you just copy this and start working on it. So you just use these voice to text feature and describe everything. Like you can describe, I want this app, I want my app to have this. You just describe it completely. It's going to build you this cool stuff. And when bam, your prompt is ready, your prompt is engineered. So this skill is completely free. You have the Gumroad template, so you can use this Gumroad template and build the skill. So it's totally completely free skill. And that's it for this video. The whole goal of this video is I didn't want you guys to spend 2 3 hours studying, you going through those huge videos where they talk about prompt engineering. I think is, AI models are good enough to do prompt engineering, but still you need to have a general idea. So something that I learned, going through these Claude courses, I learned about the 4D framework. I have adapted that into prompt engineering, and I found out it to be cool and it to be much more simpler than those 2 to 3 hours of videos. So I just dropped this video. Think so it's helpful to you. So just keep following me. You subscribe to this channel. Help me grow, and I'll bring much more content, and my only goal is to make it much more simpler and quicker for you guys to do understand, so you spend much more less time and you will get your desired outcome much more quicker. So that's it for this video. And that's 4D framework. Everything is in description, so whatever you need, you'll get it from description. And that's it. I'm Anuj signing off.